body blow for Rahul Gandhi. A Surat court today found him guilty in a 2019 defamation case where he allegedly insulted the entire Modi community by calling them thieves. The Surat court has sentenced him to a 2-year jail term. However, he managed to get bail for 30 days, during which time he can appeal in a higher court. The court observed that despite the Supreme Court warning him, there was no change in his conduct, and being a people's representative in Parliament, he cannot be given a lower sentence because that will set a bad precedent. The court also said that calling the Prime Minister a thief and comparing him to a financial criminal is a bad precedent, and if Rahul Gandhi is not punished, a wrong message will be sent out to society. Let's remind you about what Rahul Gandhi had said in 2019, for which today he's been sentenced to 2 years in prison.
एक छोटा सा सवाल, इन सब के नाम, इन सब चोरों के नाम मोदी 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 कैसे हैं?
ನಿಮ್ಮ ಮುಂದೆ ಒಂದು ನನ್ನ ಸಣ್ಣ ಪ್ರಶ್ನೆ, ಈ ಎಲ್ಲ ಕಳ್ಳರ ಹೆಸರು ಕೂಡ ಮೋದಿ 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 ಅಂತ ಯಾಕೆ ಬರ್ತಾ ಇದೆ?
नीरव मोदी, ललित मोदी, नरेंद्र मोदी, और अभी थोड़ा ढूंढेंगे तो और बहुत सारे मोदी निकलेंगे.
However, the biggest hurdle for Rahul Gandhi now will be to retain his parliamentary membership. Remember, 2013 Supreme Court verdict categorically says that any MP, MLA or MLC who is convicted and given 2 years of prison loses membership of the House with immediate effect. As of People's Act, Rahul Gandhi is now liable to immediate disqualification once the order and a complaint is submitted to the Speaker's office. That, by the way, has already been done by Advocate Vineet Jindal. However, Rahul Gandhi's counsel has asserted that they will appeal against the order. Their contention is that the Surat court does not have any jurisdiction in the case and that it's beyond imagination to be sentenced to 2 years in prison for an election campaign. Here's why Team Rahul is confident of having the conviction stayed in a higher court.
Secured an order of bail as well as the suspension of conviction and the sentence. That will be the obvious way. We would be challenging the order of the trial court before the sessions court. There are, very obvious grounds, and I wonder how the lower court did not, consider those points. According to me, number one, this entire trial is procedurally bad. There is no Samaj, Modi Samaj, and that has come very clearly on the record. Not only that, but there is no organization of persons who are having surname Modi. Therefore, if there is no organization, as a member of that organization, nobody can file a complaint. So far as defamation is concerned, a person should be aggrieved and only he can file the complaint. Here, 90% of the allegations are against Sri Narendra Modi, and therefore Narendra Modi should have filed the complaint. He has not filed it, and therefore Purnesh Modi does not get a right to file that on his behalf.
All right, so does this mean that Rahul Gandhi could immediately be disqualified? That definitely is the argument of the BJP. To understand this legally, we now have Rajya Sabha MP and top legal voice Mahesh Jethmalani joining us. Thank you for speaking to us, sir. The Congress has said that the defamation verdict on the part of the Surat court against Rahul Gandhi is erroneous and weak in law. What would you say?
Well, the Congress response is bound to be what you just said it was, because they have no other choice but to defend Rahul Gandhi, and the only way they can do it is by saying this was an erroneous judgment. But ultimately, whether the judgment is erroneous or not is not for the Congress party to decide. It's for the court. So let them file their appeal, let them be heard, and let the court, the appellate court, render its appellate decision. And then we'll see whether the Congress is justified in making these premature statements.
Now, you're a very seasoned lawyer. Let me quote to you what another very seasoned lawyer, Dr. Abhishek Manu Singhvi, has said. He said that a specific allegation in a defamation case, the textbook definition is that a specific allegation needs to be made about a specific individual. A generic comment of the kind that Mr. Rahul Gandhi made of all Modis like Nirav Modi, Lalit Modi, Mr. Narendra Modi, it does not qualify as defamation. How would you respond to that?
Well, let me put it this way. That's a very specious argument, but we're going into merits, and I want to be very limited because one has to be fair to somebody who's been convicted, namely Rahul Gandhi in this case. But since Dr. Singhvi is putting his defense out there, let me just tell you, right, that if you say that everybody from X caste is a thief, right? Any member of that caste has a right to file for defamation. It doesn't have to be. It doesn't have to be a named individual, right? Even somebody, a member of a particular class that's defamed, raises a cause of action for defamation. So also here, every person that belongs to the class of people with the surname Modi who has been defamed has a right to file an action.
So what now are the immediate next steps for Rahul Gandhi? What could be done? Give us a legal perspective. Does he, is he under threat of immediate disqualification as Member of Parliament?
Well, the law as laid down by the Supreme Court in 2013 is that once you're convicted and the sentence is anything more is 2 years or upwards, not less than 2 years of the exact words, then you stand immediately disqualified. So unless you can, it gets revived. This disqualification can be stayed in the interim if you get relief from the appellate court in the form of a stay of conviction, right? So as per the Supreme Court judgment, you have to get not just a suspension of the sentence, but you need a suspension of the conviction for your disqualification to be set aside temporarily till the case is disposed of.
Now, the Congress has also said that the law of criminal defamation has a chilling effect on free speech. Is this an effort to try and silence voices like that of Mr. Gandhi? And won't that actually be the aftermath of this kind of a judgment?
Well, that has also been, look, you know, I don't want to prejudice. I mean, the Congress party is well advised to raise all its defenses in the appropriate forum. You can't have a legal debate because there's no gain from that or to the Congress party. What is the point of saying all this? Because ultimately, the only person who will decide all this is the appellate court judge. But since they want to get into this debate, which is unseemly in the media, all I will say is that all defamation has a chilling effect. But please tell me, there's been the criminal law of defamation, right, for a very long time. And this argument has been raised in the Supreme Court about chilling effect, and therefore it should be struck. I think it was in Subramaniam Swamy's case, where he said that the law of criminal defamation must go, and it's been rejected. It's been rejected. In any case, look at it, right? You have a law of criminal defamation, but people are going on defaming other people, and criminal defamation cases are on the rise. So where's the chilling? It's not that the law of criminal defamation is having a chilling effect. People are ignoring the criminal defamation law, right? And they don't seem to be chilled by any effect.
Now, a lot of people have even made the connect between this particular order coming out in Surat in Gujarat. Mr. Mallikarjun Kharge said, we expected this because they kept changing judges. How do you react to such criticism?
Look, you know, there are many times when people in parties other than the Congress and some of the opposition parties also, lose in courts. But we never attribute motives. They never attributed motives. This seems to be something which is very peculiar to a particular brand of oppositions that have, and most of them belong to dynastic parties. Let me tell you, it's part of that whole entitlement syndrome, right? Any institution which goes against them is biased. So that's now been a common recurring theme, and it seems to be a recurring theme trotted out by these kind of privileged, entitled, dynastic parties. So that's all I'm going to say. I'm going to say it's condemnable, but I'm going to say that it was, as so far as I'm concerned, it's not unexpected, because this is a recurrent pattern since the past.
But does this now mean that we'll not see, there's a possibility that we won't see Mr. Gandhi in Parliament? Already there is a letter that has been written to the Speaker asking for Mr. Gandhi's disqualification given his conviction and sentencing of 2 years.
No, since Dr. Singhvi has aired all the defenses, presumably he's one of the advisors of the Congress party, I suppose they must be ready with their appeal memo, all ready to go to the appellate court, and then, once they go to the court, they have to convince the court to give them a stay. So it should not take that much time. Okay. I suppose in the next week we should see an appeal from the Congress and the outcome of any interim relief prayed for by them.
Okay, interesting to see how this will play out if it indeed is going to be set aside by the High Court, because the Congress is quite confident of that. Does this amplify, though, politically speaking, the credibility crisis for Mr. Gandhi in particular and the Congress in general?
But the Congress has always faced a credibility crisis. They are adding to that credibility crisis.
All right, that was very succinctly put. Mr. Mahesh Jethmalani, thank you very much for speaking to Times Now, if only to outline the legal perspective, because a lot of chatter is happening about that. Let's go straight across now